Sweet. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Troy Hardy. I'm with the Auckland Rugby League. Today's live match coming courtesy of the ARL. You'll be able to get to the link on www.aucklandleague.co.nz. Make sure you share that around on your social media platforms and come and join us today for the major clash here at Jack Colvin. We are being hosted by the Atatu Roosters as they get ready now for the big clash against Ellerslie Eagles. It'd be fair to say that in the Fox Championship that this game will set tone and tenor for the 2019 season for both the teams. Both coaches are certainly geared up for this one along with the players. Now don't go too far away. In a very short moment we're going to catch up with Brian O'Shea, the chairman of the Atatu club. And that will lead into the build-up for Corey Rosser, who joins us as he will interview the coaches for today. So as I said, don't go too far away. We're going to bring in Big Brian as we find out what's happening at the club. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Brian O'Shea with us. Brian, it's always a pleasure to come down here, mate.
It's great to be here, Troy. Thanks for having us, mate.
The field, mate, it's looking fabulous down here. The club's looking pretty sharp for the 2019 season. Tell us what's happening down here at the club.
Lots happening this year, mate. We've got a great coaching crew right through the whole club. They're setting the tone for how our coaches should be coaching our kids. Big focus on developing and holding our kids here so that we've got plenty of juniors coming through to boost the top side over the next few years.
And part of that, I understand, is we caught up during the week as we came down to do a bit of reconnaissance down here at the club. Part of the coaching campaign, you've got programs in place that I understand that the head coach is running.
Yeah, the head coach Keith Henley and Phil Gordon are running camps for our up-and-coming 13s through to 17s, as well as running all the coaches through some drills to get consistency of coaching through the whole teams, right throughout the club. Yeah, it's going great.
Awesome, mate. And the other thing too, which is always important to most clubs, is your sponsors. And I know outside of Barfoot and Thompson, there's a big support with your crew, the old boys and the guys that look after, I suppose, knocking back a few green teas up there. So let's have a talk about that.
Yeah, no, Rick Lanigan from the club, he's a life member, been with the club for years, runs what we call a 250 club. And that's just a group of good Te Atatu people and other people who love Te Atatu, who put in a bit of coin to help us cover the costs of the senior team. Not cheap having Prem teams, mate.
And today, I sort of said in the opening, outside of getting tongue-tied, was that we'd spoken about this game, Ellerslie up against Te Atatu. How do you view this, and how important is it to the club?
Oh, this is a very, very big game for both teams, really. But we're we're 1 from 3. We had the bye, so we need this game to really get us stuck up into that 4. The competition, the way it's run this year, is fantastic. Gives us a really good shot of progressing through to the Fox if we're good enough. But it gives us a chance to, if we can make the top 4 of the Sharman qualifying, then we get to test ourselves against 4 Fox teams who have had 7 games or 7, 8 games of good Fox football. So that's great, mate. We're looking forward to it.
Mate, and outside of Chris Lloyd, big shout out to Chris Lloyd. I hope you're pumping the links for the live match, mate. Volunteers, who's involved with the club. I know that's really important to the home Atat. Anyone that you want to share some love with?
Just all our committee work hard, mate. We've got a really good focus on the kids, as I was saying before, and there's a core group on the committee that makes sure everything's run there well. You'll see today that our under 10 open sides are running out with the top side today, and that's something that Mark Clayton from the club has developed and started, and it's fantastic. We'll have hopefully have an under-10 game just to run against each other at halftime as well. So we're a really family-friendly club. We're trying to push no drinking, no smoking at the ground here at Jack Colvin. We started it today. It's slowly working. There's a few drinkers and smokers around the place, but you know, small steps, mate. And we just want the place to be comfortable for kids, friendly, family friendly, so people are encouraged to bring their kids down and enjoy the footy, enjoy the club.
Look, last final two questions for you, just very quickly, and that is, if we're living in the area of Te Atatu, how do we go about, you know, joining the club? Because you've got women's playing, you've got, you know, obviously the kids up to prems. What's the best contact?
Our Facebook page is really active. We keep an eye on that very closely, but we've also, you know, www.sporty.co.nz/Te Atatu Roosters. You'll get information on there. But Facebook is the main one. We keep that pretty active. And of course, we got Chris Lloyd, who lives over in Australia, is live on Twitter all the time, Chris. So keep that up, mate, and go the Warriors tonight. I know you're going to watch them. Good on you, mate.
And look, finally, just in regards to sponsorship, you know, you're a very lucky club, very fortunate. There's a massive wall that holds, you know, great pride, the Dennis Williams terraces over there, but you've got a couple of blank spaces available for them to be snapped up by future sponsors. How do we get in contact for that?
Same again, just message us through the Facebook page or, yeah, they're very cheap and very well worth getting. I mean, when you got a live stream like this, all that exposure on the wall over there is going out to millions.
There you go, alive around the world. And just on that too, you know, I've been told that the rate card for one of these fabulous signage boards over there are about $2,000 a piece. And Brian gave me the tip coming in on the live stream that you can actually get two today for only $4,000. Okay, mate, listen, I know that we've kidnapped you and you've got a lot on today. I want to thank you for your time and thank you for hosting us down here for today's match.
No, thanks, Troy, and thanks, Corey, too. You guys do a great job. Cheers, mate.
Awesome. Okay, well, don't go away too far, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get ready now for the referees. We're going to get ready for the coaches' interviews as we get set now for Corey Rosser to build us into the main match of today. What a fabulous day it is, and it's going to be a great day of football as well. Man, it's been a tongue-tied effort. All right, don't go too far.
Okay, we are now joined by TJ Ashford. I'm Corey Rosser to do the pre-match coach build-ups. Well, TJ, 3 games into the season, mate. How are things tracking so far from your point of view?
Yeah, boys are doing quite well at the moment. I've been talking about it with our leadership group over the last couple of weeks. We're actually tracking along where we think we should be. We're still at the early stages of our of where we want to be though, so which is pretty good, working towards the end of the year. Yeah, I think we're doing quite well at the moment.
Good victory over the Hibiscus Coast last weekend. What did you like about that performance?
It was probably more of a complete performance of what we've been working on over the last, through pre-season and over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Still, again, you know, we've set some high standards for our team this year, and I think the boys are doing a good job to try and get to where we want to be. But again, it was just you're only as good as your current performance, man. So we've kind of moved on from last week, and then obviously looking forward to another big clash today against the Roosters.
You've been involved in coaching for a long time now, but the first shot as a head coach of a Premier team. How are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, love it, mate. few sleepless nights, but nah, mate, it's you know, I've dreamed about this time for a long time. I think I've done about 10 to 12 years in senior footy, so I'm just really relishing the chance to be here and be part of such a great club like the Ellerslie Eagles. But yeah, it's been good, man. It's been challenging, but love it. Yeah.
A few notable names missing from your team sheet today. Glenn Fishiahi at fullback and Darren Kingy at hooker. How does the game plan change without those two?
Actually doesn't change at all. So we've kept the same structures and processes throughout the 3 teams, the 3 senior teams that we've got this year. But we've always had that mentality from the start of our campaign about it's the next man up. So everyone's got a job to play within the team. And look, we haven't had our full 17 on the park at all this year, so it's nothing new to us. There's no excuses at the end of the day, man. We've all got our jobs to do, and we'll be looking forward to the boys getting it done today.
Te Atatu Roosters team, a fair few players who played in the Fox Memorial Premiership last year. What are you expecting from the Roosters?
Yeah, they're probably one of the top 2 teams that I penciled at the start of the season. I knew a few of the boys that were coming on board with the Roosters, so they've done quite a good job in terms of getting the side built again from last year. But again, probably a physical, fast encounter. We just have to match that physicality up front today. So the boys are amping for it. They're ready to go.
Excellent. Well, TJ, thank you for joining us. I know you've had a busy day so far today, helping out with the reserve team as well. So wish you all the best today, and thanks for joining ARL TV.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Just a big shout out to my wife and kids at home, and also my family over in Melbourne. I know they're watching over there today. There's about 20 of them watching. So thanks for tuning in, guys, to ARL TV.
Here we go. A very short break for us now before we welcome in Phil Gordon from the Te Atatu Roosters. Okay, we're now joined by Phil Gordon from the Te Atatu Roosters. Well, Phil, 3 weeks into the season, we just asked TJ the same question. How are things tracking from your point of view with the Roosters?
Oh, mate, it's good. Like, we're starting to build a bit of consistency in our squad. We wanted to try and achieve this year some depth in our top 2 squads, and also some consistency in the way we approach the game. It's been challenging in a few circumstances, but also we're seeing good progress and good movement.
Yourself, obviously, you've got a rich history with the West Auckland game. How are you enjoying being back here in West Auckland, and no doubt coaching a few boys you've had a bit to do with growing up?
Yeah, no, it's growing up in South Auckland and playing a lot of football out in South and coming to West, it's very similar in a lot of ways and very different in a lot of ways. So I think I'm really enjoying the atmosphere. Te Atatu has been really welcoming this year. They've got a great culture here, great history, and we've just sort of tried to refocus on respecting that history and the way we move forward.
A good victory to start the season, and then tough loss at Hibiscus Coast. Did you feel like you grew within those 2 weeks? Obviously you had the bye last week, but are you seeing progress?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Hibiscus Coast hurt, in all honesty. We sort of wear our emotions on our sleeve. That was a hard pill to swallow, that one, but I guess sometimes, in a loss you learn more than a win, and so we certainly took a lot on board today. I guess how much we took on board, we'll find out today.
You've brought across some wonderful leaders who were really good players in the First Division last year. Talk me through Jared Tour and what he brings to this team.
Oh, JT is a team man. He's a club man. He aspires to make people around him better while making himself better. He's not about himself, he's about the group, and that's in particular why we're rapt to have JT come on board. He's a quality human being, and that carries out in the way he trains and the way he's on the field.
The Ellerslie Eagles, they're missing a couple of key players, obviously in Glenn Fishiahi and Darren Kingy, but what are you expecting of them today in terms of their style of play?
Oh, mate, I think they'll be well organised. I know TJ as a coach too. I saw him down at the high performance camp, and he's a well-educated man in the game of league. He knows how to prepare a team, and they'll be up for this. And they would have done their video homework, I guess, and they'll be ready for us. I guess what we've focused on really is not so much them, but trying to make sure that we're ready for us.
Yeah, and just finally, that was going to be my last question. I mean, what gets the job done today for Te Atatu? What do you need to do really well? Attitude,
80-minute performance, and making sure that we get to our points and our processes, and we believe in the process and we stick to them, and some controlled aggression for 80 minutes. Yeah. And can I just to end, we just would like to pay respect to the Charlie whānau, Kevin Charlie, who actually coaches our reserves, lost his father last Saturday. So he mihi aroha ki a koe, Kev, me o whānau hoki. All our love from the Te Atatu family and club to you and your family at this time, brother.
Very nice, Phil. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to let you go now and finish warming up the team. All the best today.
Thanks, Corey. Cheers, mate.
So I'm now going to throw back out to the field where the reserve game has just wrapped up, and in a few minutes' time as we build towards kick-off in the main game here, Te Atatu Roosters versus Ellerslie Eagles. Okay, well, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Rosser here in commentary, joined in a minute by Troy Hardy. As always, we're live from Jack Colvin Park for today's Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers. There's a mouthful for you. Match between the Te Atatu Roosters and the Ellerslie Eagles. We're about 15 minutes away from kickoff. In the meantime, we're going to look over some results from last weekend. And before we do that, going to welcome in Troy Hardy, who you will have just seen interviewing Brian. If you tuned in earlier, well, Troy, beautiful day for footy, and I think between us we both really enjoy coming down to Jack Colvin Park. It's well set up for this.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's a fabulous ground, and after the work was done, it's a great place. And look, and it's free today, so if you're in the area, come down and join us. They've got fabulous seating around the park. You're right close to the action. I know that the bar and refreshments are open and firing, along with the canteen. And just as we sort of pan around the ground here, the actual field's in really good condition as well. So we've got two great teams coming up for a massive match. I think it's going to be a good day for football. So
a little look at results last weekend. We'll start with the Ellerslie Eagles, who we live streamed today. A 36-10 victory over the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. Now, Troy, we need only probably look at the coaching staff there at the Hibiscus Coast Raiders to know that they're going to be a really well-organised team this year, and they're probably going to be one of those teams in that top mix. So a really good victory for Ellerslie.
Absolutely. I think, as you sort of alluded to, they've got a great coach there that's come back, and it's good to see that sort of talent, investing back into grassroots football. And those boys up there will be wanting to play for Bluey, obviously. And so Brian McLennan coming back there, who also brings a wee bit of tradition back from, back in the days, and I think they took the Fox themselves. He'll have great processes, great structure, all that sort of technical talk, but more importantly, they'll just love playing for the man.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big 2 points picked up by the Ellerslie Eagles in that game. 36-10 winners in that one. Northern Brothers, they won 36-26 over Ponsonby, who were heavily defeated in round one, but appear to be on the up. Shontaine out there coaching the Ponsonby teams, very much a new look team compared to what we have seen over the last couple of years. So nice to see the Ponies perhaps starting to generate a little bit of momentum. Pukekohe up against Mount Wellington, a 42-14 victory there for the Pythons. And Troy, I think you saw a little bit of this match played out at Karaka Rugby. Jody Henry doing some really good things out there. Yeah,
absolutely. He's been fortunate. He's kept the roster together. They came out of the gates good and strong. They put a couple of early points on. Mount Wellington, don't underestimate them though. They've got some size. But, Pukekohe on the day just too good, and I think they're going to be one of the big contenders inside the Fox Championship.
The Newland Stags, they travelled away to Papatoetoe and came away with a 46-14 victory. A good result there for Matt Carden in his first year coaching the Stags. Manukau got up for a good victory, 36-24 over Waitemata, who we live streamed in week one. Certainly a side with plenty of size there in the Waitemata Seagulls up against Manukau, probably two of the bigger forward packs that we've seen so far in this competition. So a really good win there for the Magpies. And I guess the big result in this weekend, Troy, was Pakuranga 30, Otara Scorpions 26. Pakuranga undefeated through that first 3 weeks. Probably not a team that everyone necessarily thought would be there in the first month, but doing some really good things. They're looking sharp.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking to take your point on that, I think they are the quiet achievers. Manukau's another dark horse. The under-20s have come through. They've kept the core group together. So both those sides you will need to keep an eye on. I think they're performing very, very well. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time, and it's not like they can really ease off any of these teams in the first round, because every game counts, on whether they can get to that, the championship playoff where there's a chance for them to go through to the Fox Premiership.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, with this new format, there is no time for a slow start. And moving now to the first division, the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership qualifiers. Remembering we are under the new format this year. It started on Friday night with a big clash, the grand final rematch and the Stormont Shield on the line. We were there, Troy, at Mount Smart Stadium, and the Gonora Bears come away with a really good victory over the Point Chevalier Pirates. What were your impressions of that first game?
First impressions of that game was Point Chevalier just looked a wee bit rusty. They didn't really get out and fire straight away. They'll play their way into the season, and they have to. They're one of the big name clubs. Glenora, however, they looked quick. They looked sharp. They were pretty swift around the park, and they just executed very, very well. So great start to the seasons for the Bears. as we get ready for the side of the wall opening up inside the commentary box.
There you go. All of a sudden, we've got a new air conditioning unit here in the commentary box. But just on that Point Chevalier game up against Glenora, I thought Wyatt Rangi was excellent for the Glenora Bears, and their spine, Zach Tippins, Jordan Tuore, they're looking really, really good there. And Zion Yoka, nice to see him back in the halves as well for the Bears. Mangere East, they got off to a winning start under Richie Blackmore, 24-14 victors over the Atatu Leopards in that South Auckland derby. A good start for Richie Blackmore's men there, and staying out south, the Manurewa Marlins, they were at home to Northcote. Went down 40-18 there. A tough start for the Manurewa Marlins, but Northcote very much just picking off where they left off last year, Troy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too is that they've lost a wee bit of their roster, as we know. A couple of their big hitters have, gone to Australia or, changed step in regards to what they were doing. But that is set aside. They've got a wonderful coach over there. They've got a young group that have come through. And I think they're going to be a surprise handful for, a number of clubs throughout the 2019 season as well.
The Mount Albert Lions, they faced local derby as well up against the Marist Saints. A 42-14 victory for the Lions there, and John Ackland's first game back as the head coach. I understand John's son, Aidan Ackland, had a really good game there, and they had a bit of adversity to overcome. They lost a winger in the first few minutes, I believe, to a dislocated shoulder. So a good victory there for the Mount Albert Lions. Now, Howick up against Richmond, 22-12 at the victory for Howick in the end, but looked like a pretty good performance from the Richmond Bulldogs, who stuck in there, and well, it was only probably just that little bit of extra experience that got Howick home in the end in that one. And then this one was a thriller at Prince Edward Park. Papakura getting up 26-20 over the Bay Roskill Vikings. A try with about 10 seconds to go from last year's Player of the Year in the Fox. Phoenix Hunt got them home. Positive signs there, though, for Bay Roskill, Troy. Their first game up in the First Division and more than held their own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it'll be interesting to see how they go this weekend as well. Not that to be the understatement. And I think they're going to be a handful for a number of the teams that might be in the middle of the ladder down.
Okay, as we sort of build here towards the final 5 minutes of our coverage here, pre-game coverage at least, we can see there's some shots of the Dennis Williams terraces, and there is a big crowd down here, Troy. We've been here since the early hours of this morning, and just a steady stream of cars coming in. It's really good to see that local support. Now, you'll see on screen there the Fox Memorial Premiership qualifying series ladder, and this is after round one, of course. So the Mount Albert Lions, with that big victory, they topped the competition. Northcote tucked in second, and the Howick Hornets in third. Those two teams sitting inside the top four where they finished last year. Mangere East getting off to a winning start, Glenora and Papakura, and the Bay Roskill Vikings, after that really impressive performance and an eventual losing effort to Papakura, they sit seventh. Point Chevalier, Otahu, Richmond, Manurewa and Marist. Some big clashes on this weekend in that competition, particularly for those teams who didn't pick up a victory in round one. They face perhaps a little bit of early pressure. Troy's already touched on the fact that really in this competition you simply can't afford a slow start. So some big games on around the ground today, which we will probably touch on as we go through our build-up and the early stages of the game. We'll bring up now the championship qualifying series ladder and take a little look at what's been happening in this competition. And as you can see there, it is the Pakuranga Jaguars who sit on top with 2 victories and the bye, a perfect 6 points. Pukekohe, 3 victories, the only team in the competition so far to win all 3 of their first games. They sit in second position. The Ellerslie Eagles, 2 wins and a draw. They're shaping nicely, tucked in behind the Otala Scorpions under Dean Hunter. Te Atatu, the other team we're live streaming today, 1 victory, a bye, and a tough loss up on the Hibiscus Coast. And then it's New Lynn, Hibiscus Coast, Waitemata, Manukau, Northern Brothers, and sitting at the bottom there with a little bit of work to do, but certainly some positive signs, Mount Wellington, Ponsonby, and Papatoetoe. So that's how things look in this competition, as we see on screen the Te Atatu Roosters lined up there on halfway.
That would be the Ellerslie Eagles, my brother.
Apologies, there we go, caught out straight away, and we'll now take a look at the team list though, and we will start with the home side, the Ellerslie Eagles, as we wait for those to appear up on your screen there. So starting with the away team, the Eagles, and at the back, Marcel Connell. The wingers are Prescott and Tua, and the centres, Tulsi and Malesia. Bunce and Taylor in the halves. Bob and Manuika in the front row. The back row is Nalisi, Carver and Skelton, coached by TJ Ashford. And the only changes there, a couple of jersey swaps for the Ellerslie Eagles team. For the Te Atatu Roosters, the home team today, Cortez Taulu is the fullback, the vastly experienced player, spent the last few years with Mount Albert Lions. One thing we know about this guy is he can find his way to the try line. Goulton and Cheney Puata are the wingers. Dyer and Urquhart listed in the centres. Hakaraya and Miski are the halves. Briggs, Maipi and Winks in the pack. Marino, McCartney and Tua. And then on the bench for the Roosters, Tua, Makeri, Golding and Dylan Murray. And they're coached by Phil Gordon and Keith Hanley. So that is how the teams will take the field today, ladies and gentlemen. You may be hearing a little bit of noise in the background there as we get our commentary box sorted. A little bit of controlled chaos as always. It's grassroots footy at its finest. As we mentioned earlier, beautiful day down here at Jack Colvin Park. See on screen there the Te Atatu Roosters making their way down. That's the reserve team on the field, and it is Jared Tua leading the team out. And a really nice touch here. You've got the young players from the club leading a player out each. Got some real experience in this team this year. We mentioned Cortez Taulu, Jared Tua as well, who is vastly experienced, played for the old Auckland Vulcans back in the New South Wales Cup days as well. Miski will lead them around the park nicely in the halves. And David Dyer as well, who's played plenty of top flight footy for Richmond, also spent some time over in London with the West Warriors. So on come the Roosters now, and Ellerslie waiting on halfway and have been waiting there for some time. Our referees today, our middleman is Joseph Green, one of our really good up-and-coming young referees. He's assisted by Corey Jewell and Jack Haslam as the touchies. There we go, a minute's silence there, and do apologise for the slightly disrupted build-up to this game, ladies and gentlemen. There's a little bit going on in the background there, but nothing out of the ordinary as I welcome Troy Hardy back in. Well, Troy, you touched on it straight away in your interview with Brian. This is a huge match for both of these clubs. They were both probably picked as pre-season favourites to be in that top four mix, and can really make a statement today with a good performance.
Yeah, I think both teams have got great rosters. You know, the new coach at Te Atatu certainly brought a wee bit with him from Mount Albert Lions from last year. And as I sort of alluded to, you know, this is really going to set tone and tenor for these guys, for both clubs. It's an important match. And as we've sort of, you know, touched on already, it's not like they're going to meet each other again. You know, they've got one round of football and each game counts as we get ready now for, looks like Te Atatu's going to be doing the kickoff. And I think we're going to be up for some really important, good-looking football for the next 80 minutes.
So referee Green gets into position. It will be Te Atatu to get us underway.
And if you're in the neighbourhood, ladies and gentlemen, come down and join us. Free access to today's match. The clubhouse is right on the grounds. You know, lots of refreshments as we get ready now for the kickoff. And as Corey said in the build-up, there's a lot of people down here today. So come and join us.
So here we go, round 4 with the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Qualifiers Series. And it will be Ellerslie with first use of the ball. They come into this match in fairly good form. They started the season with a 32-20 victory over Mount Wellington. A 16-all draw with Manukau in week 2. And then that really good 36-10 win over Hibiscus Coast last weekend. Te Atatu Roosters, first round winners as well, and then had a close loss to the Hibiscus Coast. Enjoyed the bye last weekend, and good to see the team getting out there amongst it with some team building activities. A bit of an amazing race style activity it looked like all around Auckland. So a good opening set here from the Eagles. This is Andrew Bob, who's taken the ground 40 out, swings it out the back now to Antonovich Bunce, and it is taken by Taulu on the full. Returns it and then is taken down. Jai McCartney now, the 33-year-old Te Atatu Rooster. The outside back's getting involved here, and a little bit of footwork there from Cheney Puata, who spent some time with the Cronulla Sharks, a Kelston Boys High School product. I believe he would have played under Phil Gordon there at Kelston as well. Up over halfway they go. Nice little carry there from Tua, who gets involved again. Now they work it down the left-hand side. Ball is kept alive. They'll be taken down about 37 out from the line. Set deep they are, and we'll get to their kick. It's a messy one, which is knocked on. This should be 6 again here, and it will be just that. So Te Atatu now with the chance to take the early lead in this one. Taulu hits the ball with some speed. They're making good meters here, and this will help. Penalty blown by referee Green. And I dare say it'll be a tap and go here. There'll be no thought of the two, you wouldn't think, just given the energy they've been able to generate in these opening exchanges, and it is indeed a tap and go. They hand it off to Winks.
Let go, Manu! Hold the line! Hold! Go one.
Tua plays short. Brings in Donovan Briggs.
Go. Hold line! Hold! Go, 2.
Shift out to the right edge now. Dyer beats one, finds his winger, he's unmarked. Te Atatu are going to open the scoring here. We wait for confirmation, but it all looked okay. Referee Green says we're all good and points to the spot, and it is Anthony Goulton who opens the scoring for the Te Atatu Roosters.
On the Crown Lift Trucks replay, just as we see some slow motion celebrations there. So a lot of good work off the back of a penalty here. You know, nice little step back inside. Just held up that inside defender, gave him a big opening there for the winger to slip through, and scores in the corner.
And it all came off that 6 again call. It was a terrible kick really from Te Atatu, but wasn't handled by Ellerslie, so perhaps rode their luck a little bit on that one, but that's the way it goes sometimes, and they score in the corner via Goulton to get things underway on 3 minutes.
And for the home team, they couldn't ask for a better start.
So tough first up assignment here for Hakaraya.
Hey boys, just make sure we have like a say on the papers, whether like even if they're all
And a
right.
difficult kick.
Yep. Make sure we just paint a picture of something. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, that was on me. Nah, we'll be coming in.
Not a bad attempt.
Away.
Just off to the right-hand upside.
So falls away and the Te Atatu Roosters lead 4 points to 0 with as many minutes gone here at Jack Colvin Park in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers.
Thank you.
Busy off-season for the Te Atatu Roosters recruitment-wise. Brought in a number of players from the Mount Albert Lions, where both Keith Hanley and Phil Gordon coached last year. Isaac Miskey, Cortez Taulu, Jared Tua and Jordan Tua, the main off-season recruits, but also players like David Dyer, who bring some real experience to this side. So Ellerslie get us back underway. And a floating kick which lands about 10 metres out from the line and is then taken by McCartney, who's quickly set upon by 3 defenders from the Eagles. Miskey clears the ruck. Comes into the middle of the park to Briggs.
Up now, 11! Come in, hard!
Oh,
Ball's put down, but there's a penalty in there. Offside is the call from referee Green. Tell you what, he hit the ball at some pace there to Tua. And second penalty of the match. Both have gone in the favour of Te Atatu, and they'll just safely put that one into touch there at the Dennis Williams Terraces. Big shout out to the club as well. Really good work honouring one of the greats not only of the Auckland game but of the New Zealand Rugby League in general, Dennis Williams. A Kiwi international at 18 years of age. Such a brilliant, skillful player and still widely regarded as one of the finest talents to come out of this particular part of Auckland. They shuffle play on now, come down the right edge. Dyer just took a little look up and the ball goes down, and Ellerslie get let off the hook now and will work the ball out. This is Prescott, a former Howard Hornet, who will get things back underway for the Ellerslie Eagles, and they just need to find a way to settle things down a little bit here. A rough start to the match. Here's a good carry through the middle. This is Pesatua. Manga the dummy half. Links up this fullback Connell. Down the right side, they'll come back through the middle of the park. There's a really good carry there. Needs to get to a quick play the ball here. It's nice work from Manuika. Manga shifts play back, and it comes off the hands initially of Antonovich Bunce, but is cleaned up. Last tackle coming up now. Ellerslie with their first chance to register points in the match. Work the left-hand side now. A little kick in behind, a difficult one for Taulu, who shows good patience to let that one run dead, but a really good set that time from the Ellerslie Eagles, Troy.
yeah, certainly managed to show a little bit of patience there and come off the back of a good set and find themselves in the right end of the park. Getting ready for the scrum.
Tua, the man to retrieve from the back, and hands it off to Galton, the try scorer. Making good yardage out of dummy half here of the Te Atatu Roosters, managing to get to plenty of quick play the balls so far in this one, and as a result they find themselves down on the 45 with tackles up their sleeve. Out the back it comes now. They get to their kick. It's a tricky one for Connell, bouncing around, does well to get there in the end, leading the charges. Tua, and it's a good kick chase from the Te Atatu Roosters, who are just doing all the little things right so far in this match. There's big contact there up out of the line. Prescott jumps out of dummy half now. Makes 15 on the charge. Now they'll come out to this right edge. Tua up top.
He's been busy, Tua, today.
Manga shifts back to the centre of the park where cover is the willing recipient. And once again, Ellerslie get themselves into good field positioning. Antonovich Bunce will go high. Here's a tester for Taulu, who takes it cool as ever. And we'll go back to the 20 to get things back in the way. And Ellerslie need to get a bit of a move on here with getting back, because Taulu's got the quick tap in mind, but brilliant there from Antonovich Bunce to not only make the tackle but knock the ball free. Te Atatu do well to regather it in the end, and it is Miski who will be tackled. So a bit of a frantic couple of seconds there for both teams as Galton now runs out of dummy half. He gets ragdolled to ground right on halfway. Maipi is the dummy half, comes back to David Dyer, who's been good at these opening exchanges. Tua. Set upon by a couple of Ellerslie defenders, and leading the charge was Manuika, 30 metres out from the line. A slow play of the ball, but milking is the call from referee Green. Down the left they come now. It goes high. It's a messy old kick, and it is out on the full. So Te Atatu Roosters let themselves down there with a poor last tackle play, but some good pace to this match, Troy. You can sort of feel the intensity starting to build a little now.
Yeah, just having a quick look, you know, the Roosters have had probably more balls so far in the opening exchanges. You know, Ellerslie, however, just need to, you know, show a wee bit of patience like they did in the last set and, you know, apply a bit more pressure down the other end. However, it looks like here comes Roosters again.
So 4-0, the Roosters lead. 10 minutes gone here at Jack Colvin Park. And it will be Ellerslie to feed. These uniforms are a little hard to make out on the screen at times. Do apologise for that. Another good carry from Prescott. He's been impressive in these opening exchanges, working really hard in the middle of the park. And look at him again. Pushes the dummy half out of the way and says, I'll have another one here. Great stuff from the winger. Good carry through the middle here for the Ellerslie Eagles, and all of a sudden they're 30 metres out from the line. That was Manuika, and now Bob lines up for a second one. Andrew Bob hits the line, but the defence is equally as impressive there. Roosters now going to come under some real pressure here, and this won't help. Penalty on last tackle. Those are coach killers, and now the Eagles with the chance to set up camp here and perhaps put some set plays on. Hunting those first points. They trail by 4, 11 and a half minutes gone, and they're straight back into it now via Manuika. Tua with the leg takes him down right in front of the SAS uprights. Manga at dummy half. They move play on now. The Roosters scramble nicely though. It's Malicia who has taken the ground. Back towards the middle they come. Taylor. Watch for Antonovich Bunce as well here. He's stationed down on that left edge right now. And here he is. Holds the ball up to Connell, who draws and passes. They'll go close. Good scramble though from the Te Atatu Roosters. They get him into touch, and that was really well organised there from Te Atatu. Put themselves under some pressure with that last tackle penalty, but the response is very good.
Absolutely, and I think, as you rightly said, Te Atatu showed some good scrambling there on the line, keeping Eagles at bay. And, it'll be interesting to see now what the players coming out inside their 20.
Come together. On your line. Good.
So Dyer charged with the first hit up. High tackle, the call from Green. And Te Atatu will get a piggyback out of trouble here. Miski with the ball. He'll hand it off to kick for touch. So plenty of penalties already so far in this game, Troy. Discipline probably a concern for both teams.
I think Ellerslie, you know, they're 3 up on Te Atatu at the moment, and that'll be something that TJ will be having a chat to him about at half-time, I'm certain.
Miski, Tatua. Wearing 13, but certainly appears to be playing an edge role. He's been stationed down that left side. Good carry forward here from
Briggs. Popped it out the back too, as they managed to, play on.
Taulu there to clean up. And he chews off some extra metres as well. They're about 35 out from the line now, the Te Atatu Roosters. Quick play of the ball, might be on the back end of it now to Taulu, who gets the offload away. The second phase is going now as Miski dances through a couple and then gets smashed there, and there may have been a shoulder charge in there as well. But of more concern for Te Atatu, Cortez Taulu is in all sorts of trouble in back play. Clutching at the left knee.
Just checking with you, Corey, he pulled a penalty on that?
Penalty, I believe, for a shoulder charge. It's certainly the way it looks. Time is off, so we will pause here as Cortez Taulu gets a little bit of attention, and there's Sam Davies on screen there, running the water for the Te Atatu Roosters today. Long-time referee and volunteer with the Auckland Rugby League. Big shout out to Sam. So Roosters penalty, and it will be Maipi, who looks like it's going to be a tap and go here for Te Atatu, looking for their second points of the game. Hand it off and get back underway via Winks. This 18-year-old former Mount Albert player. Maipi.
Strong carry, still standing.
He's had a few so far, has Briggs. Been really good in the middle of the park. Miskey with the double pump. It's messy from the Roosters, but they just hold on to the ball. Ellerslie right up against their line here. A real test for TJ Ashford's side inside the first 15 minutes. Tua takes the ball to the line. They wrestle him to ground. They're set heavy towards the middle of the park, and that is where they will go. Hakaraya goes to the line. Taulu chimes in. Numbers out on the right edge, but Ellerslie do well and close it down. Hakaraya is the dummy half. He will go down the short side. Goulton's got a second. Anthony Goulton, he's in again, almost on the exact same blade of grass where he opened the scoring about 10 minutes ago. He gets his second off a nicely worked right side play.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay. See the dummy half just gets a nice little ball out. They had them spread down. The winger ducks in for a second for the day. And just having a quick look at that, the frustrations will be mounting for the coaching staff at the Ellerslie Eagles. That's come off 2 back-to-back penalties. And the result of that is another 4 points on the board as we wait for the kick to come. Quite difficult out on this edge too. It's a right leg kicker. Beautiful day though, Jack Colvin. And as we said, it's a big strong crowd here. You can see all the cars down there in the bottom car park. A lot of fans around on either side of the commentary box. Big thank you to SAS Sports, who look after the Fox Premiership, and to Crown Lift Trucks, who sponsor the Fox Championship.
So Hakaraya to attempt this conversion, and he had one from the same spot a few minutes ago. Has he learned his lesson and managed to make the adjustment? Well, no, he hasn't. This one has gone well away to the left, so it remains Atatu Roosters 8, Ellerslie Eagles 0, 16. Make that 17 minutes gone here at Jack Colvin Park. You're with us for the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers, round 4 of this competition. And the Ellerslie Eagles with a little bit of work to do after falling behind in these opening exchanges. We'll be back in action from Jack Colvin Park next week. We've got the holiday blast there. It's the first one the club is going to be running themselves, so a big shout out to the crew at the Atatu Roosters. And the coverage of that available on aucklandleague.co.nz. There's a good carry from the Roosters, who are starting to generate some real momentum now. Maipi comes back towards the middle of the park. There's some good defence from Ellerslie though. Good line speed that time. And they're up in the face to shut down the carry from Winks. Tua breaks out of the initial one, still going as Jared Tua, and he gets them up to halfway. Hasn't he been brilliant in these opening exchanges? Might be the dummy half. He'll go left. Taulu holds the ball up. He's shaken off that earlier knock. He was down with the left knee injury, but appears to be A-OK now. Here's a good carry from Cheney Puata. Last tackle coming up, and they're 30 metres out from the line. Hakaraya kicks over the top. Dyer. It's a clean catch in the end for Prescott. And he will be taken down 20 metres out from the line. Better that time from the Ellerslie Eagles, who appeared to have a little more intent in their defensive attitude. 18 minutes gone, they trail by 8. There's a penalty. This will be helpful for them as Connell earns it on that occasion, and you would think they kick for touch here and just look to slow things down a little. Troy, you touched on it before. Their discipline really the chief reason that they are behind so far, and if they can tidy that up, there's certainly been some positive signs through these opening exchanges. The kick is a long one, and it will take them up to over halfway, 40 metres out from the line, and that is where they will start this set. And here's a carry from the number 13, Tomasi Skelton, the 18-year-old Ellerslie Eagles junior. Bumping it forward now is Bob. made the Kiwi League Central Team of the Week last week for his performance against the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. And Tonovic Bunce turns back to the inside now, and this is cover. Short at the line, Atatu getting there in numbers. Maybe over the line here. Green's gone to the spot. I think this is going to be a try. Yes, it is. Green points to the spot, and the Ellerslie Eagles hit back. We'll need to go to the replay to see exactly who it was that got over the line that time. There were plenty of bodies around, but the Ellerslie Eagles on the board.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay, just as we watch the final parts of the celebration, and I think a wee bit of surprise too that the young fella got there. And here we go, we speed it up a little. Looking good. Yes, and they always do in slow motion walking back towards the halfway. Here we go, just off the ruck. Big, low, hard, just too much strength to hold back there, or at least get underneath the player. And referee's Johnny on the spot, checking with the sideline touch judges, and awarded the try. Waiting for the kick to come.
And even on the replay there, I'm none the wiser as to who got that try. The number was obscured. We do apologise for whoever it was that has crossed and probably isn't quite getting the recognition they deserve. So the kick to come from in front now to be Mason Taylor, who should bang it over and make this a 2-point ball game. Does just that. Flags are up, and it is Atatu Roosters 8, Ellerslie Eagles 6, 21 minutes gone.
Just have to think about, as this game wears on, as well as how important are these kicks going to be to both sides. And as you can see there, you know, Ella managed to land that one, and they're only 2 points shy off Atatu, who had 2 tries on them. So I think that may well play a factor into, you know, the final minutes of the game as it starts to unfold.
Atatu know all about that as well, having gone down 34-32 against the Hibiscus Coast. So small margins within these top teams in the competition as they all vie for that top 4, which guarantees promotion to the Fox Championship proper. But they will join the bottom 4 teams from the Premiership qualifiers. Ellerslie now with a spring in their step, and fair enough as well. Looking for that quick play of the ball. Milking's the call. Goulton involved in the tackle, eventually taking the ground. Hakaraya finishing it off and ends up in a WWE style position there at the end. Nice carry forward there, just short of halfway. They're about 5 away from the halfway line, and they'll take it up over, and here's fresh legs on the park. This is Sione Tua. Down the right they come. Taylor to Connell. Connell through the line. Connell still going. Taking 10 metres out from the line. Last tackle coming up. Atatu scrambling to get back. Taylor goes high. Numbers out here now for the Eagles. They receive the offload. Scramble is there. Goulton and Dyer, they've managed to hold him up.
Great D.
And what have we got here? Time off and a penalty, I believe. Let's listen in.
Didn't quite see what the infringement was.
So we can hear from referee Green now. Goulton's been called out.
Orange headgear, was it? Yeah. Bring the orange headgear. Oh, take it.
So Goulton has been called out here for a telling off.
He tackled the attacker in the air. He's full on wrapped his arms around him. If it was NRL, then it would be alright, but since we're in New Zealand, that's not okay. We've got to step it out just so there's no dangerous position. It's alright.
So tackle in the air is the call, and a good explanation there from Joseph Green as well. That is an important rule difference to note. In the NRL, that would be fine, and we've seen David Fusitua of the Warriors have a couple put on him like that, but here in the Auckland competition, that is against the rules, and it will be an Ellerslie penalty. So the tap and go looks like the option for the Eagles as they look to take the lead in this one. Tulsi gets us back underway. Antonovic bunts off to Tua, who straightens things up right in front of the uprights now. Ellerslie with tackles up their sleeve and only about 4 metres to travel. Manga short at the line. Ellerslie getting very, very close now, and Atatu there in numbers to prevent them. Taylor back inside to Tua. He's been busy since coming onto the park. Antonovic bunts, set out to the left. Taylor's running the right. This is going to be a slow play. The ball appeals for a penalty, but it's not forthcoming. Antonovic bunts. Cover is taken the ground. Last tackle coming up. Manga. Poor pass, but it is cleaned up, and now they might go in here. The Ellerslie Eagles, they'll go very close. I think he's got the ball down there. Out on the line is the call.
Great defence.
Sometimes it is a game of inches, and that time so close with the Ellerslie Eagles. Might see if we can get a replay of that one. It was Tulsi that went very close. Have a look here on the replay. And may have been an arm on the line there, very hard to tell. Referee's on the spot to make the call though. We go back to the live action and a penalty here and another time off and telling off coming from referee Green. Perhaps, although there is an injured player down there. Try and catch who that is. It may be Tua. And a sin binning. So there we go. Ellerslie down to 12. Sent to the sin bin is the number 15, which is Villy Lee. So Villy Lee sent for a break, and attacking the knees, I think, was the official call. So the Ellerslie Eagles, one man down for the next 10 minutes. And Jared Tua has been injured in that play as well. We'll see if we can get a shot of Tua down on the ground as Ellerslie take the opportunity to get together and have a chat. So Tua still down. And this is not a good sign for the Roosters.
He's been one of their best for today. And rightly, you know, a rounding applause for the captain.
So this will obviously cause a reshuffle in this Atatu Roosters pack. We do have some big bodies on the bench. Dylan Murray, perhaps a leading contender who could fill that middle forward role.
So Atatu will really need to take every opportunity here to put the pressure on over the next 10 minutes.
So time back on, and Hakaraya will kick for touch. And they'll start this set about 40 metres out from the line. Shout out to Glenn Fisiahi, who is watching from outside our
great offload
commentary box today. I'm sure he would love to be on the field today, battling a little injury, but hopefully back on the field in just a couple of weeks' time. Now they work the ball forward here to the Roosters. This is Makiri. Maipi gets to a quick play of the ball. They get an offload out the back. Golding it is taken to ground. Looking to make the most of their numerical advantage on the park. 13 versus 12. Miski. It's Messi to Hakaraya. Taulu joins in now. Dyer gets it. Puts the fend on. Flicks it out the back to Goulton. But what about the scramble from the Eagles? A man down, and they get there just in the nick of time to deny Goulton what would be an early hat-trick within the first 25 minutes.
Absolutely, and he's having a great day in the office, isn't he? And looked like that little flick pass was going to get him there, but as you rightly said, you know, the scramble defence from the Eagles just repelling them at the final stage as we get ready for the scrum to set. I don't know how many tongue-tied moments I can have today, Corey.
We've both had a few of them today. Perhaps a little out of practice, Troy, as we build back into the live stream schedule.
I practice all winter to do what I need to do in the summer. Oh, hang on a minute.
So Ellerslie now packed down, and just so important now that they just complete their sets here and get through this 10 minutes with Villy Lee in the bin. Need to get to their last tackle and then to a good kick. Make sure they're playing this game down the right end of the field. Nice little offload out the back here now, and there's some meters on the offering. Eventually met and taken down. Maipi leading the charge that time for the Roosters defensively. Cover. 40 out from the line now, Ellerslie. Nice little set they're putting together here. Goulton involved in that tackle. Now they jump out. Chewing off a couple of meters that time was the 14, Woody Williams. Right on halfway now, the Eagles. Last tackle coming up. Williams plays out to Taylor, who dinks the kick over the top. The chase is pretty good, but it's going to bounce out. That's a really, really good set from the Ellerslie Eagles, given the situation they find themselves in. And now Atatu will have to work this out off their 10. And the Eagles doing all the right things on that occasion. Dyer, another good carry. He's been good post contact. Ball's come loose there, and Atatu have cleaned it up. I didn't get a good look at what happened there. Perhaps Atatu lucky to get away with that one as Dyer lines up for his second run in this set. Urquhart, the dummy half. Back towards the middle of the park, a little turn back inside, and this is a really good carry from Seamus Makiri.
He offloaded too, did he?
Strippers the call and penalty. A messy old set that time from Atatu. The ball spilt loose twice, and both times they were able to maintain possession. The first through a play on call, and this time a penalty. See on the screen there, Dylan Murray onto the park in place of Tua. 27 minutes gone. It is the Atatu Roosters who lead 8 points to 6 here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers. If you're just tuning in, Ellerslie playing with 12 men right now. Villy Lee in the sin bin for attacking the knees. A tackle which resulted in the injury to Jared Tua. Ball comes loose this time. This time it's not a strip though. Knock on is the call, and Ellerslie will get possession here now, and another chance to chew off a couple of minutes off the clock. I'll be in no hurry to pack down here either.
Just looking like they were starting to mount a wee bit of pressure there, you know, and having the extra man on the field, you have to think that that's an opportunity gone astray.
So scrum packs down, Taylor with the feed, and they come down the short side. A little trick play off the scrum. They need to be careful to keep away from that sideline. And bundled into touch. That's a horror show for the Eagles, who worked really hard to survive that set, and now will put themselves straight back under pressure right on the half-hour mark.
Yeah, hey boys. Yep.
The Winds of Fortune turn again. And Atatu will be desperate to get a point out of this. I wasn't happy with the feed.
It's not a game of rugby league before you have a couple of reset scrums these days. Hakaraya now first receiver, set upon by 3 defenders. Huge set here for both teams. Urquhart, the man on the park at dummy half. Here's Murray with a good carry forward, right in front of the SAS uprights. Te Atatu looking for their 3rd try of the game. They lead by 2. Makeri gets the offload away. Kept alive there by Jordan Tua.
Whistle gone again, not happy with it.
And knock on is the call. There's a call of crowding in there. I think this is going to be an Ellerslie ball. We just wait for confirmation. So it will be Ellerslie ball. Starting to see some errors really coming into the match now, Troy.
Yeah, Te Atatu 3 handling errors versus Ellerslie 1. But just too many penalties going the Roosters' way, and they've been pecking away at the line there. And you know, the fact that they've just lost another opportunity, it'll be interesting to see how Ellerslie now try and grind it out with 12 men.
Prescott gets the offload away as well. .45 off their own line now. Change of direction that time. A nice carry forward from Malisi, the back row. We haven't seen a lot of them so far. Play tending to go down the other side of the field. Antonovic bunts now, looks to the heavens, and it's a high one. A real tester at the back, and Taulu once again does nicely on it. Gets the offload away to Goulton now, who accelerates through a little bit of a gap, and now Anthony Goulton had spiders on him for a minute there, shaking out of tackles. Connell does well to tackle low. Now Urquhart gets onto a quick play of the ball. Numbers on his right side. David Dyer now into open space. Antonovic bunts, chasing David Dyer's in. Te Atatu have got their 3rd, and what a set that was from the hosts. And David Dyer it is who finishes it off with a try, which he nicely centres towards the post here. But this was just brilliant play. Max Urquhart got on the end of that quick play of the ball, and then from here, David Dyer. There's a fair effort from Antonovic bunts to chase him down, but Dyer is probably always going to be too big and strong that time, even if he had managed to get contact, and runs it in there to score. But boy, exciting football.
Well, Te Atatu etch a try out of that whilst Ellerslie are 1 man down. And again, I'm still standing by the fact that, you know, the kicks are going to be important. So he's missed a couple today. He'll really want to be having the focus to put this towards the uprights.
And a new kicker as well. So Urquhart to attempt this one. It was Hakaraya who attempted the first 2. So a change in defence of Hakaraya. They were both up against the sideline. Interesting again to see there, Troy. Goulton, he scored the first 2 tries and then was central to it in that one as well with a lovely run through the middle of the park. He's having a great game as the former Ponsonby winger. As Urquhart moves in, strikes it, and this is away to the left. So it is Te Atatu 12, Ellerslie Eagles 6. 33.5 minutes gone here at Jack Colvin Park. You're with us for the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers. And a really, really nice try there from the Te Atatu Roosters, which will probably ease some of the frustration that they would have been feeling, particularly with that numbers advantage. They were down that end of the park a fair bit there, Troy, but couldn't get a result. But in the end, do get the try and stretch this lead out to 6 points.
Absolutely, and that can play both ways, you know, especially if you are the one-man team with the 1 extra player and you don't score, start having mental gymnastics, and it's certainly, you know, for the defence side, they can build off that. But not the case here as Ellerslie kick off.
So Taylor gets us back underway as a bouncing one, which is fumbled by Miskey.
Easy, fellas.
So just like that, Ellerslie will pack down a scrum 20 out from the line, and they'll have a chance to hit straight back here. Miskey, it was a tricky bouncing ball that time.
And quite rightly, just 5 in the scrum there. I say that, it looks like the lock's coming in now anyway.
Wing up. No girly.
Antonovic bunts. Shuffles play on. This is Tulsi, former Ponsonby Rugby Union man. Cover. Gets the offload away. Was the ball loose there? It looked like it on first inspection, but play on is the call. Taylor down this right-hand side here. They got numbers, do Ellerslie. Good defence, though, from Te Atatu. They get there and take him down. About 1 metre out from the line. They centralise again. A poor pass. Taylor does well to bring it in, and Tua with no choice but to just take the settler there, and is taken down by 3 defenders. They miss out Skelton. Instead go to Billy Lee, who will go very close. Straight back on the park after his sin binning. Looking to make amends and goes very close on that occasion. Antonovic bunts. Dinks a little kick in behind. Carver's there, but in the picture, plenty of Te Atatu bodies, and they shepherd that one dead. And this will be out to the 20. Good patience shown there from the Roosters.
Well, they came back very quick just in real life play, and as we're back into the action. Went for the quick restart.
Up now, mate! We need a hold! Hold! Go one.
And as a result of that, they're already up on the 40 as Miski takes the ball forward, gets an offload away to Tua, who takes him up into attacking territory. Urquhart at dummy half, comes back to the middle of the park, and Murray with a good carry, but he's met solid contact down low, and in to finish it off was Williams for Ellerslie. Taulu jogging away in the background there, perhaps looking to inject himself as the first half nears its end. It is the Te Atatu Roosters leading 12 points to 6. Hakaraya. Taulu on his shoulder. Wanted the offload that time. Held on to it on that occasion. Taulu with the big looping ball back to Miski. Miski will kick across the body now, and they've got numbers out there to the Roosters. It's spilled by Te Atatu. This will be 6 again. Tua scoops it up. 0 tackle is the call. Roosters now with the chance to go in once again. Yet to convert one of their tries. They've scored 3 of them. Urquhart to Murray. Murray with that little change of direction at the line. Murray will go close. Dragged down, and he's in some discomfort here. That did not look good at all. And Dylan Murray's in all sorts of trouble here. Time off, and I dare say this may take a little while to deal with, so we'll pan away from that as that is dealt with. But Murray, that time, Troy, that looked horrible. Just the player coming across there, and the knee got caught up. Yeah, he had a lot of motion going forward. Obviously, he saw the try line, and he was certainly putting enough effort in, and just got spun around in the tackle, and you know, knees are serious things, and when you've got players on you, let's hope he's okay. We'll take this time to run you through some of the Ellerslie Eagles jersey sponsors. The club's done really well this year. Sponsors for many of the jerseys on the park. Number 1, sponsored by Gutter Solution New Zealand. A1 Landscape have the number 2 jersey. Sonic Couriers the 4. 5 is Hampton Downs Experience. 6 is Jamison Home Loans. Of course, Sandy, heavily involved with the club. Paramount Pools. Ellerslie Automotive and Tyres, the Ellerslie Gold Club, Gascoigne Plumbing, and Sturt Landscape. So a big shout out to the Ellerslie Eagles sponsors, and thank you for your continued support of Grassroots Rugby League. And we can't help ourselves. Uncle Al, who's watching live in Australia, Uncle Al, we're giving you the big shout out because you're meant to be the favourite uncle, and for all the rest of the family that's here, TJ said, you know, he likes you despite what your uncle said about you. There was a noticeable Ashford presence on the Auckland Rugby League social media platforms in the lead up to this match. No doubt looking forward to seeing TJ in action with the premier coaching job this year. One of the ball boys just done the big WWE splat on the old 10-metre Toblerone. And a big thank you once again to SAS Sporting Apparel, major sponsors for the Fox Premiership, and Crown Lift Trucks, who are the major sponsors for the Fox Championship. Yeah, and a shout out to our friend Mike Farrelly as well. The Farrelly Photos women's competition getting underway last week. A couple of really good games played in that one. Another round to be played tomorrow. And early signs that the Papakura Sea Eagles are perhaps going to be the pace setters in that competition. As looking through their team list, Troy, it's almost hard to find a player who hasn't played international football there. So at least on paper, they would appear to be the early pace setters. But you expect the defending champions, Manyare, to be in the picture. And of course, Richmond, led around the park by Georgia Hale and a really good forward pack. They'll be there or thereabouts, as well as Atatu.
My last shout out for today, Lorraine down at Austin's. I hope you're all watching the game down there live as the prodigal son sits in the commentary box. And another free round of jugs for everybody.
So back underway. Short ball at the line. Ellerslie need to switch straight back on here. There's only maybe 2 minutes to go in this half by our count, and can ill afford to leak right here on half-time. Hakaraya to Dyer. Dyer will hit the line hard, and Batman gets the offload away, but Ford is the call. Boy, oh boy, when David Dyer hits the line at speed, it is a sight to behold, and that time just didn't quite manage to hold on. Had he got the offload away cleanly, perhaps a different story. So Ellerslie hold on now, and would be smart just to take their time here, get to half-time, and really, given what they've endured so far in this game, Troy, a man in the bin, to go down only 6 behind at half-time, a fairly good achievement there. And that is how the first half will end. It is the Te Atatu Roosters 12, Ellerslie Eagles 6, half-time here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers at Jack Colvin Park. A very short break from us here in the commentary box before we resume with the second half action.
Don't go too far away as we catch up with what's been happening in ARL TV week. And we also get to talk a wee bit around the school holiday program with ARL Blast. Make sure that, you know, if you've got a wee bit of time and you want the kids out and about, just as we see some young ones coming out here to play at half time, is that they can join the ARL Holiday Blast program and have some activity outside as opposed to being inside with Xbox and PlayStation 4.
Welcome to this week's edition of ARL TV News. Let's take a look at what's happening around the grounds. We've got a Jets camp wrap, the upcoming holiday blast, and our live stream action is back this Saturday. Jets camp. 59 kids took part in the 2019 Jets camp over the weekend. They were treated to the presence of former Kiwi international Sione Famawina and current NRL star Blake Green. A wrap of the action can be found on our website at aucklandleague.co.nz. Upcoming holiday blasts. Not sure what to do with the kids these school holidays? Register them into our upcoming holiday blasts. Te Atatu will be the first club to host their own blast, followed by an ARL run blast at the Newland Stags. Register at aucklandleague.co.nz. Live stream action. We're back this Saturday at Jack Colvin Park. Watch Te Atatu take on Ellerslie. Tune in live from 2:30 PM at aucklandleague.co.nz. Now to a quick Premiership qualifiers ladder update. Let's take a look at the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. So Pakuranga are leading the table, followed by Pukekohe Pythons, and Mount Wellington, Ponsonby and Papatoetoe are yet without a win. Now to the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder. All Mount Albert fans will love this. They're headed at the top of the table, followed by the North Coast Tigers And at the bottom of the table we've got Manadera and Amherst. That's all for this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. I'm Savannah Tafoli.
Hey guys, Sam Coulton here from Auckland Rugby League. Just here to talk to you about our holiday program that we run called the ARL Holiday Blast. This program is run at different rugby league clubs across Auckland. It goes for a couple of days. It's an active alternative where you can put your kids in instead of staying home in front of the TV or the computer. So we cover a couple of different rugby league skills and also have a bit of fun with a couple of different games. And most of all, we get the kids hanging out in the outdoors with their mates during school holidays. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about our program or would like to look at some dates, please jump on our website www.aucklandleague.co.nz, or you can contact me on my email at sam.c@aucklandleague.co.nz. Look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.
Hi, I'm Liz Golding. Do I have to say my last name? Kia ora, I'm Liz. I play for the Atatu Roosters. Catch all the action on aucklandleague.co.nz. Hi, I'm Lang. Oh, shut. Hi, I'm Langi Vaina. I play for Otahu Leopards. Catch all the action on aucklandleague.co.nz.
Hi, my name is Kali Takawa. I play for Mount Albert Lions. And come and catch all the action on aucklandleague.co.nz. I'm
Nati from American Magpies. Watch all the action on Auckland Rugby League.
Hi, my name is Ula Pasewao. I play for Mount Wellington Warriors. Catch all the action at aucklandleague.co.nz.
Isaac Tamapio, Ellerslie Eagles. Make sure you catch all the action on aucklandleague.co.nz. Jared Tua, Atatu Roosters, Auckland League.
Yeah. Coffee is from the end to the playoffs. You what? Yeah.